So let us continue with the discussion. Now we saw the operation of the data path. It was very nice, provided you have the proper control signal at proper time. So generating the control signal is the hardest part of data path design. So we are going to see that how this control lines, how do we build this logic. Now it's a kind of black box where the instruction opcode goes in and multiple control lines are coming out. So let us see these control units in detail. There are two control units. One is the main control unit and another one is a dedicated control unit for the ALU. They are interacting. You can see one control line is coming to this one and generates this. So they are not totally independent. They have some connection. Let us see the details. Now the diagram is not clear. This shows the control unit. So since it is not clear, let us skip and see. So what is happening in the control unit? So from the instruction memory, you have opcode function, RSRT, everything is coming. The control unit is generating the whole control lines. Hope you remember the purpose. This branch is asserted when the instruction is a branch. Register write is asserted when there is a register write. Similarly, hope you remember the purpose of each of the control line that will be fed to the data path. That is a task of data control unit. So control unit is responsible for generating the necessary control signals for the data path from the instruction. So let us see the details. How do we implement that? Okay. So for each instruction, these control lines needs to be set in a different way. So let us see what are they. So ALU SRC. So if opcode is 0, then register B is the ALU source. So you need to select the ALU source. Sometimes it will be immediate, sometimes it will be a register. So likewise, you need to write the logic for control signal. Okay. When external operation mem write, if OP equal to store and memory write is 1 else 0. If operation is equal to load, then it is 1 else is equal to 0. Likewise, you need to, so there will be a register write in the case of a store word instruction, also in the case of a branch instruction, then it is 0 else it is 1. So store word, we are not writing into the register and there is no access to the register file for writing, so it is 0. Register destination is set if there is a load instruction and so on. So likewise, you can, if you spend some time on this slide, you will get the logic for asserting each of the control lines. So that is represented as a table that we are going to see. So in MIPS there are main control unit and an ALU control unit as we discussed earlier. So this is your main control unit and this is your ALU control unit. Okay, now the control table, this is known as the control signal table. So for each instruction, what is the value of the control signal? Okay, so for register destination, for let's say the add, you add unsigned instruction. Function code is 0 and opcode is function code is 1 followed by zeros and opcode is 0. This is there in the appendix of the textbook. For the time being, you understand that the function code for add unsigned is 1 0 followed before 0 and 0. So if this is the case, you have this setup of control lines. Okay. So for the rest of the instruction, the remaining bits are don't care. You can just go ahead with the operation. Okay, we don't need to be bothered about the function code. Function code is ignored for other instructions. Okay, so only for add and ISO, or because the thing is both add and sub you have opcode as 0. So the which operation to be performed is determined based on the function code. But for this instruction you have separate opcode, so function code is not required. That is why function code is kept as don't care. So spend some time and understand the table. So here you will find some don't cares, isn't it? So X means we are either asserting, not deserting the lines is kept in the high impedance state. For example, it is a stored word instruction. Stored word instruction, the destination is memory. So register destination is don't care. But if you check the memWrite, it is 1 because store word is writing to memory. Likewise, you need to answer yourself why certain bit positions are 1, why certain bit positions are 0, and so on. So what are the questions that can be asked from this slide? So we may ask you, write the value of the control signal memWrite for the instruction load word. The question is, write the value of memWrite control line for the instruction load word. So to answer that, now since you have a table, you can trace this line memWrite and L word. The intersection will have the answer. But this table will not be there when you are writing the exam, provided you stick to the rules. So how do we find the answer? You have to think logically. Load word is not writing to any other register, which is writing to memory. So what will be the control? Like that, we need to understand the entire table. So there are how many entries are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 9 into 8. There are 56 entries. So I don't want you to memorize 56 entries and get a wrong answer. Instead, you understand how each of the control lines are set. So take an instruction, think about these control lines, and then write it down. So that is one exercise for you to do. Okay. Now let us see how this second control unit, which is ALU control unit, is working. So the input to the ALU control unit is the function code, 6 bits function code, and the output from the main control unit, which is ALU OP. So that with these two, you will generate a 3-line control signal for the ALU. So with the 3-line control signal, you can specify 8 operations for the ALU. We shall see more details on the generation of ALU op control lines. So we look at the operations supported for an R-type instruction, because R-type and load word, store word, they are using the ALU. BEQ is also used. So ALU op, if you have R-type, your op will be 1, 0, 0. Okay, ALU operation 1, 0, 0. If it is OR I, the ALU op control line should be 0, 1, 0. So likewise it is done. So how this is obtained? Let us see that in the next slide. So if you look at the function field, the opcode function code for add is 0, 0, 0. So we take 0, 0, 0 as the ALU control code for the add instruction. So for subtract, the last 3 bits are 0, 1, 0. So we take, so we need to select this. When the subtract comes, this has to be given to the ALU control line. So when 1, 0, 1 is coming for OR operation, then this has to be given for ALU control. So likewise, we can develop a truth table where this will be the input and this will be the output required for the control signal. So let us write the logic expression for that by looking at the table. Okay, so ALU OP is there, 3-bit ALU OP, 1, 2, 3, and then function code and ALU operation. So let us see that decoding. Okay, so the operation is add. So the ALU operation is 0. It is coming here. If the operation is subtract, it is 1, 0, 0, 0. So likewise subtract, when function code is for subtract, function code is for subtract, you need to select the ALU op for corresponding subtract here. So likewise, it's possible to generate the final ALU OP control signal. So yeah, this part is the ALU OP control signal. Okay, so when the instruction is add, we give the control signal 0 1 0. Okay, you look at here, ALU control 0 1 0 is add. So spend some time with this details, you will understand how this mapping is done. Okay, so this will not be asked in detail, but still it's a good idea to understand. So the takeaway message is that the ALU op and the function code are together used to generate the ALU control lines. So the ALU op value you are getting from the main control unit by decoding the instruction, and this is the function code. From there you generate a ALU CTR. So this is not that much important, I just explained it, that's all. So you can write the expression for each bits. We know that there are 3 bits for ALU control, so you can bit ALU control 1, 2, ALU control 1 and ALU control 0. So likewise you can write the logic expression and implement it as a gate level representation using AND gate and all. So like this we can implement this. Bits are coming, you will generate. So that is how a control unit is generated. We are not getting into the details other than the names and their values for each instruction. Okay, so this is how the logic will look like. Okay, so that's about MIPS data path control, and we will see the next topic in the next class. So go through the video carefully and stop and watch, ask your doubts if there are any. Okay, thank you.